The 41st President of the United States has reached his final resting place tonight, culminating a life story of 94 years. George Herbert Walker Bush was buried today after a journey by train from a final funeral. Some 1,200 mourners gathered at the Bush family's Houston church, St. Martin's Episcopal, after 3 days of memorial events in Washington. Mr. Bush's former Secretary of State, James Baker, reflected on the man he knew for decades as both friend and leader.
I've always been proud that George Bush used to describe our relationship as one of big brother and little brother. He used to say that one of the things he liked best about me was that I would always tell him what I thought, even when I knew he didn't want to hear it. But he had a very effective way of letting me know when the discussion was over. He would look at me and he'd say, "Baker, if you're so smart, why am I president and you're not?"
Mr. Bush's grandson, Texas Land Commissioner George P. Bush, recalled not a statesman, but a grandfather.
Today I stand before you as the oldest grandson of the man I simply knew as Gampy. George Herbert Walker Bush was the most gracious, most decent, most humble man that I will ever know.
One of the president's favorite country groups, the Oak Ridge Boys, performed an a cappella version of Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
And after more than an hour, the service ended with Battle Hymn of the Republic, before the flag-draped casket was carried from the church. The 41st president, accompanied by family and friends, then traveled 70 miles by train past crowds of well-wishers to College Station, Texas, and his final resting place on the grounds of his presidential library. Mr. Bush was buried during a private service alongside his late wife, Barbara, and daughter, Robin, who died of leukemia as a child.